All right, welcome back to Beyond the Journal. I am Lawrence, and this is Erin.
Yes, this is Erin. Thank you for finally just saying my name and not making it a thing. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Are you going to say hi, though?
That wasn't saying hi. That wasn't a good enough hello. Hey, guys.
Yes. All right, now, how are you?
I can't
Still
really.
at home?
I can't really answer that question. I don't really know how I am. I'm really
Yeah.
a million different things all wrapped into one, and none of them seem to be that great. But here we are. We're here to talk about it, right? How are you, Lawrence?
I'm a million different places at once, and when I say that, I mean not only my mind but my heart. A million different places at once right now.
That I would say I can relate to so very much. I have cried so much in the last week that I don't remember a time that I've cried this much in a long time, actually. And the littlest things can make me cry. And my heart is so heavy and it hurts so deeply right now. So, and if I keep telling you about it, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah, it has been difficult to. It's been, it's that age old adage of it's like a car crash. It's so gruesome, but you can't look away. It feels almost irresponsible to look away from the television or look away from the posts that I've seen on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or World Star Hip Hop or just turn away from the news. It seems irresponsible to turn away from anytime the president speaks. With the same token, though, it seems mentally irresponsible to not take a breather at times as well. So that's been an interesting thing to balance out. And then, yeah, I'll just leave it there. It's just been an interesting thing to balance out.
Yeah.
When do you come up for air? Because you want to be down, but you don't want to drown. You know?
I have been struggling with that a little bit. And I know I shared some things with you earlier, and that was a question I actually asked you. Is I feel like right now, white people especially need to be having some really difficult conversations, and they're very challenging, and I am involved in many of them, but one in particular has been very challenging for me personally, and it's been a lot.
Why has it been challenging for you?
Because it's a very difficult conversation that involves someone whose views are not aligned with mine, and so my whole point to you was when is enough enough? When do you chalk it up and move on? And I don't really feel comfortable with an answer there yet, because I feel like the people who aren't aligned or who aren't willing to see your perspective or point of view are the people who probably need to hear it the most. So right. When do you give up and quit, and when do you keep forging forward, and how does your mental health play into that? And you want to stay committed to what's good and right and just, but there's all of these factors, and it almost seems like every day you think it couldn't get worse, and then it just continues to get worse on top of everything else. So it's just the energy's so heavy, but at the same time I do feel a little flicker of hope. I hope so.
I think we often go into these things with so much passion and so much just pain and the last of our endurance, and so we swing for a home run in every situation. And I don't think the conversations we need to have with people are going to be home runs. I think we have to go in it, with a step-by-step process. You have to first intend to inform, just to get the idea out there and in the atmosphere, and then you have to hope to educate, to possibly just teach somebody something new or a different perspective, and then you have to hope to build a bond or a relationship that will strengthen that person's belief in what you're trying to teach him or her. That's all you can do. So we often go for the home run, and ask for someone to completely change. But those are the steps, the intermittent steps that we should be taking. And I think, like, and you take us, for example. We didn't just develop this type of chemistry, this energy, because everywhere we go, whether we're working for the Ballers Journal or beyond the Journal, people just say, wow, you guys just get it. Like, they can tell we're coming from two totally different places, but we somehow meet in the middle. That didn't happen overnight.
No, that did not happen overnight. Let me tell y'all a story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, that did not happen overnight. Well, first of all, I have to say, I always take that as such a huge compliment, that people are always saying to us that we have great energy or that we just get it. And that, to me, is such a huge compliment. I really appreciate that. But what people don't realize is all of the work behind the scenes that went into that. And you and I have to say, kudos to us, because we have really difficult, uncomfortable conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And
we sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, we've had, I'm telling you, America, we've had arguments. We've raised our voices at each other. We've had to cut off conversations and come back. We've launched out. We've attacked each other verbally and then had to apologize on both sides. It has been ugly. It has been an evolution. It has been necessary, and it has been a privilege. We have gotten so far because we have fought not only each other but together.
Right, and I think the one thing that we stayed true to, when we had a mission and a goal, we were working on something that we both felt was really important, but two, there was a level of respect. So even when we got angry, or even when we got upset, or even when we agreed to disagree, and the cool thing about that is, as you continue to do that, it gets easier. It gets better, because you learn triggers, you learn what works, what doesn't work, you learn the things that you feel really passionately about and things I feel really passionately about, and there's a mutual respect and a bond that you build throughout those exercises. We'll call them exercises. So throughout those exercises, we built our muscles up. And so now our communication muscles are really strong. And so we don't even have to argue and scream and fight anymore. We actually just continue to communicate. And yes, sometimes we need to step away from it just to process or to think things through, or to get, or a lot of times you say something to me that will hit me, but I still need time to process it, because it actually will help me change my perspective. And sometimes you just need some space and time to let that sink in. So I think we are a perfect example of two people who come from very different places with different communication styles, with different perspectives, but we have one goal in mind, and we stayed committed to that. And through the journey, here we are having these tough conversations in front of people.
Yeah, and we're not the end all be all of possibilities, but we're a possibility. You understand what I mean? Like, this is a road that people can take. It is not an easy road, but if you want to get where you're going, it is a necessary road to work with those around you, or work with those who are within the work. And I think that's a big part of that. So as we get into the show, I want to talk about how desperately people need to have these conversations, but I feel like people need to have these conversations on one side of the movement first, or the movement itself should have these difficult conversations, and then once the movement is unified, then they can have conversations. But there's a whole step-by-step that I want to get into later. I would love to just jump into some of the news so we can talk about what's going on with America.
Before we do that, just super quickly, I just want to say thank you to you for being here with me and doing this, because not only has it been something that you and I have talked about when we started Ballers Journal a little over a year ago, and then we had the idea for the podcast. I just want to say thank you for being here, because it's important to me how I very much value your perspective and your input, and it's been incredibly helpful, even as a white woman, operating in this world. I know I don't know everything. I have a lot to learn, and I am very thankful that you are here to help me navigate a lot of it. So thank you. And hopefully others are learning as well as we learn together. And that's really important to me. So
yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's a mutual appreciation. You've definitely not only pushed my perspective, but you've also pushed my ability to communicate. You know, I can't expect everyone to operate from the perspective that I have based on my own human experience. And so you've actually pushed me to stop looking for people to have one common understanding, and instead, let's all work together to create our own common understanding. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm definitely grateful for that and appreciative of that. I wish, as we jump into the news, I wish we could have seen that with Amy Cooper. And a lot of people are going to ask us, why did we choose to start the show with Amy Cooper? I think Amy Cooper is a major part of the problem. And obviously, I'm not just talking about Amy Cooper, but, you know, there's another quote-unquote white lady's name circulating. I don't need to put her name on the air, but I think that's the problem. I think a certain group of people have been able to call on the police to protect and serve, whilst another group of people have called on the police and seen either no action or they've seen the wrong reaction.
Yeah.
And I think there's not only an abuse of authority, but there's an abuse of power, you know, or an abuse of ownership of the police if the police are not willing to work for all people and just certain people.
Right.
So I think, you know, the Amy Cooper thing was definitely one of the reasons I thought we should start. But I'll let you chime in. I know you also have this image you wanted to read out.
Well, I think she's just a good example of showing how something that someone could think would be so simple can be so dangerous, right? We're just,
good point.
It's a great example of that. Also, I was kind of confused. Here's my question. I'm no legal expert and I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like if you're going to use 911 for things that are not an emergency, there should be a consequence for that action. And I'm pretty sure that there is.
I feel like there might be. I'm not certain though.
So
go ahead.
I feel like if people are going to misuse or abuse 911, and especially in a racially profiled incident, there should be a consequence for that. Like, white women should not just be able to say, a black man just, oh, I'm threatened because a black man told me to put a leash on my dog, so now I'm going to call 911. And then I get it, like, karma's doing its thing, and she got fired, and she said this whole situation has ruined her life. I mean, I still feel like there has to be some type of consequence, because if we don't start holding everybody accountable for their actions, then we don't have a baseline.
You're right.
So I don't know. To me, that felt like a pretty good example of where we could have had a consequence.
I think that's one of many.
Yeah,
good
definitely.
Examples. I think also though, and this is as we start to get into some of the solutions I've been trying to think of. I think we need some sort of consequences, or perhaps a board, a council board, that looks into more of the I don't want to say minor, more of the less noticeable, or the traffic stops that are accidents that get swept under the rug in terms of like mistaken identity or people being pulled over for nothing. I think people need to actually, and it should be a jury of the police officers' peers as well as the citizens of the community.
Yeah.
I think they should all get a chance to weigh in on some of these traffic stops, and we should be able to look at some body cams and say, you know, well, this is not what we want in our community. Go ahead.
No, I think that's great. And Cuomo actually should definitely, if you haven't had a chance, check out his tweet today. He gave some very specific conditions that he would like to see met, and some of them were police related. That they want evaluations and committees, and they also want like a 6-step like system that you have to follow and be trained in as a police officer, which I think would be very helpful. However, one thing that I would like to say...
Was he listening to my live today?
Oh, is that what you said? I don't...
Did Cuomo check in?
Yep. Hey, you never know. No, but one thing that I think I've seen a big difference in, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of the footage too, in that particular situation. So at the protest, right, you've seen a lot of white people step in front of black people to protect,
Yes.
to form a shield between them and the police. And I think that now that white people are seeing how powerful that is, and we're seeing images of that, if you're in, like, if I was in Central Park and I saw that happen, you best believe I would be saying something. I'm not going to stand there. So I think now more white people will feel confident in doing that now that it's kind of been out there and people feel much more compelled to step in and help, because they're starting to realize we do have power in that situation.
So yes and no. Like, it depends. I think in this situation, thankfully during the protests, the white people who've been able to step in have been able to force a sparing. Like, they've spared not only the black person but the white person as well. But there have been other situations where, sort of off Broadway, if you will, when a black person is approached by the police, even if white people get involved, like, everybody's getting their butts whooped now. And I think that there's two reasons for that. I think, one, there's this zero tolerance developing because there's a war being started, and I feel like some of the police are actually acting as though they are in battle, because I've seen several people take baton whoopings and take just shots from rubber bullets to the face and whatever other body parts, but no arrests. No arrest. So if these people are violating the law and they need to be handled, then they should be arrested, right? But they're not being handled in the name of the law. They're being handled in the name of a message. Get your behind back in the house, back up, and bow down. That's the message. And I think it's scary to even think that no one can stop them if they stick together, which is why we need to stick together. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know if anybody else saw this. I saw, and what I mean when I say counsel, a situation where an FBI agent was stopped. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
And they put him in handcuffs because they couldn't identify who he was, or he wouldn't tell them who he was, so he was being detained. Again, and he said, "Well, I think you have a warrant." It cannot be up to the officer's discretion whether or not I'm wanted for an arrest, unless, of course, we've had several run-ins or prior history. It cannot be up to the officer's discernment because they're not trained well enough, nor do they have mental access to a Rolodex of information of every criminal's or possible potential criminal's rap sheet. That is absurd. How are you going to put some man in cuffs because your gut feeling? What? You'll never make detective. Dum-dum. Sorry, I digress. But I just think they need to be evaluated on even the smallest situations.
Right.
Because these situations are dangerous, and the man said it. He said somebody could have died. Somebody could have died. What if I would have resisted? Because I know who I am. And you would have shot me and then found out later I'm an FBI agent. Yeah. What then? I lose my life and you lose your job.
Yeah, no,
right?
the system...
Same thing that can happen with these Amy Cooper situations.
Right.
Someone can lose a life, and then what? You lose some sleep?
Ugh. Yeah. The system is broken, much like very many systems in this country right now. So it's... The only thing is I get so overwhelmed by the heaviness of it all. The only thing is I like to feel... like, since we're talking about it and since this is happening, and I know you have said too, this has happened in the past, so we have to handle this properly. Yeah. I get that too. I understand. But I feel like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because you have more experience with this than I do, but I feel like more white people are getting involved and stepping up and speaking out. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a positive. But but there is a downside to that too, I realize.
What's that?
Because I have seen some people on social media get caught like behind the scenes, like showing up to a protest, taking photos, posting them on Instagram, and then bouncing. Like they're not actually protesting; they're just there, like to be like, "Hey, look at me! Yeah, Black Lives Matter! Woohoo! Yeah, yes, for real.
That's ugly.
There were influencers taking photos in front of like broken windows and stuff to post it. So
Wow.
there's a downside to it, and I get that, but there's always bad people, regardless, who are going to take advantage of things. But so I understand, but I feel like I am seeing so much more commitment to it than I remember in the past.
And I think that's you gotta look at why. If you look at just us and the Beyond the Journal team, we went from a COVID-19 podcast to now protests and riot podcasts, police versus the streets. Like, so, and then if you look back, Kobe Bryant passed,
Pop
right?
Smoke.
Right?
I know.
Pop Smoke passed, right? So there were already people who were emotionally charged this year for some serious issues, and not everyone was affected by Kobe or Pop Smoke, but they were already emotionally charged people. And then it is just the government dropped the ball in terms of the COVID-19. Okay, it did not make its people feel secure or informed enough to battle something that was scaring the hell out of them, and had an entire country living in fear. And even if we're living in fear, let us know what's going on. And the government seemed to show us that playing politics and writing the laws the right way was more important than acting in urgency and in the name of emergency, in the name of our emergencies. And so I feel like people just felt like, you know what? Y'all really don't care about us. And when they say y'all, they're not only talking about the police, they're talking about the politicians and the government that backs the police, and they're also talking about the entire system that goes on despite the fact that there's a group of citizens who are being and have been targeted. And I think people are just saying, you know what? The only way anyone's going to hear us is if we disrupt the system. And I wholeheartedly agree with that, because it is only after you disrupt what keeps them living comfortably that you will see results. Then they will want to sit down at the table. However, if they can continue conducting business as usual, why would they ever cater to a small group who obviously has not put a dent in their game plan? So the rioting and the protesting and all of this is coming from people being fed up, and the time is now. And I'll tell you what, the one thing people need to stop doing, and I keep saying this and I will continue saying this, they need to stop criticizing how everyone else is protesting, boycotting, rioting, or making a move in this movement. What they need to do is encourage people. Don't discourage people. And we have some other quotations we need to go over in terms of that, but I just wanted to lay that out there before we even got started. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Definitely. No. Roll with it.
America is burning.
Yeah.
But only in certain places. And I need everyone to understand that. America is burning, only in certain places. Now, it's easy for us, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say wait like rudely. I hope that didn't come across that way.
Now, I'm used to it. It's cool.
It's cool, because when you put out a certain energy, you definitely get it back. Now, I'll bring this back. Sorry.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
America is burning, but only in certain places. There are still places that live outside or above the reach of social networks, that live outside or above the reach of the strong internet influence, because they live very simple, quote-unquote, simple lives. For example, the farmer that owns the mass production farm, all he cares about is being able to produce enough and sell enough to stay stable. He does not necessarily care about this movement because it only affects him if they affect the system. So he might actually side with the system. And now some people are saying, yo, that's ridiculous. But he doesn't know any better. And I need a lot of people to understand that there are people out there that all they know is their way of living. And we are not going to get these people to be our allies by judging them and attacking them. The only thing we're going to be able to do is educate them and hope we can reach them. But that's not always going to be the case unless there are people that want to do other things, right? And then you have to say, that's just not how I get down. I would rather educate them, but if that's what you do, that's what you do. But the system needs to be disrupted in many, this is the analogy I had. If the system were a castle and we all rioted or we all protested, then we'd all be walking in through one door. And how hard would it be to defend against a group that comes in through one door when you have 100 of them or 1 million of them? Which is another reason why I need people to stop saying things like, hey, where were you when we started this movement? Or stop saying things like, you're not really down unless you're out here protesting with us. We can protest, we can boycott, we can avoid, we can do a lot of different things at once. We have to flood every entrance. We can't just come in through the front door. Not everybody's going to riot, not everybody's going to boycott. But whatever you do, do something, because we need to disrupt the system with overwhelming chaos and disruption. So I'm not going to knock what anybody else is doing, because we all need to do something.
Right. I totally agree with that. I think that's really important. And I think, just like we said, when we had a common goal in mind, when we were committed to, I think we really need to establish what that goal is, and we all need to keep that in mind as we move forward. And of course, as always, the hippie in me is all about love and peace and unity and coming together and working together. And I truly, truly want to see that happen. But for that to happen, we have to have something like open-mindedness, because, and unfortunately for you, you have to sometimes be even more open-minded, because I am not familiar. You can tell me and I can listen and I can hear all of the stories, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I completely understand. So luckily, you have given me the grace to learn through you, and you have taught me a lot about this. And so I always say, well, I hope other people have someone like you in their lives that can help educate them, right? So I think a lot of white people really, really want to contribute to this cause, and some are hesitant or shy because they're worried they're going to say the wrong thing or come across the wrong way, when their hearts really are in the right place. And I know I have done that before, and and the older I get and the more self-aware I become, and I'm out in the world, experiencing things, I'm quick to try very hard just to own that and apologize and say, let me fix it. How can I fix it? And I've come to you multiple times going, I messed up. That was my bad. Part of it, I remember in particular a situation with you, you got very upset with me. I didn't even understand why. And it actually took me having a conversation with another Black man for him to break it down for me, because you were so angry with me. I didn't even understand why. And when he did, like, the light bulb went off. I couldn't even, it wasn't even something that would have entered my space. So then I was able to come back to you and say, one, I am so sorry. Two, let me explain to you my perspective. So you saw my side, I saw your side, and we were able to work through it together.
So I think that you just said a lot right there, right?
Sorry,
because
my bad.
In that situation, not in a bad way, but in an eye-opening way, and it's something we should dissect right here and right now.
Okay.
Now, there are so many white people who would like to help, and oftentimes we get the why do people push us away when we're trying to help, or where's the other one? Sometimes when Black people are speaking about the pain they've gone through, I don't know what to say, but I want to say something, right? Now, I feel like when we put Black people in a position, no, I don't want to start there. I think what white people need to understand is that Black people don't need to say, hey, let me put my pain on pause to explain my anger to you, right? And I think what white people are often worried about is like, I don't want to show up and then you think I'm here for the wrong reasons, and I feel some of the anger you feel because, hey, I'm here for you. Now, that makes perfect sense, right? But I think what white people need to do is stop waiting for a door to open. You are a human being, you are an American citizen, and you don't like what you see. Show up, do something, and don't try to qualify it by saying, hey, I'm doing this for this, or you're doing this because you disagree with the treatment of U.S. citizens, and it's specific U.S. citizens that are Black. You disagree, you will not stand for a country that allows this to go on. And yes, there's another phrase that people keep saying, and I want to address that too. People keep saying, all lives matter. yes, all lives matter, but right now, that's not our focus. Right now, we're saying Black Lives Matter to have that reverberate throughout the country so that people can have that as their mantra and as their motivation as they say, right now it's Black lives, tomorrow could be Puerto Rican lives, tomorrow could be white lives, tomorrow could be Indians' lives. It could be anyone's lives on the line. And since that's the case, we're saying Black Lives Matter. That's why we're saying Black Lives Matter. We're not saying that no one else matters. We are identifying the target, and we are saying that no lives who are U.S. citizens should be targets. Specifically, these Black lives that have been targeted. Stop targeting these Black lives. These Black lives matter. That is what that means. There's no need to debate over how many lives matter or whose lives matter.
It's
we
almost
never
like
said anyone else's lives didn't matter.
And it's almost like you're lucky that we don't have to say white lives matter. So let's not even you're lucky you don't need that cause. So let's shut up about it and let's just focus on the problem here. Let's not worry about ourselves. That's the other thing too. I the people who are so against it, it concerns me greatly because I'm like, what are you so threatened by? Why is this so hard for you to give someone else attention? Mm-hmm. That scares me. I mean, this is a serious problem. What is the problem? I don't understand. I don't understand why I have to explain that to you. But I think the one thing that you said, sorry.
No, you said.
The one thing that you said that you had said to me off air as well, which I hope that, I just want to point it out because I really hope that white people are listening and hear this. Stop trying to qualify, because I was doing that with you and you stopped me several times and you said, Erin, stop explaining yourself. Stop qualifying. That's enough for you to just say, I don't agree with this and I don't like it. That's enough. That's okay.
Right. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to tell me why you need to believe, right? And I think that's what often happens. People start to talk too much instead of realizing, hey, you're here. You showed up. That's a lot right there. You don't have to qualify it. And then now I'm looking at you well, why did you have to say that? Why did you have to let me know that it's not okay what they're doing? I know you know that because you're here. Let's just work on this now. You don't have to convince me to believe in you, because now I'm wondering, are you here for the right reasons if you need to believe in you? And I think people need to show up not for reward or award, but show up because they believe in something, and then let that be that.
Right.
That's it.
And so I struggled with that personally behind the scenes, and I shared that with you because I was so concerned about saying the right thing. Because my heart does hurt, and I especially too, I was trying to express myself, and of course we worked through this stuff, so I'm comfortable speaking out loud to you, but I wanted it to be perfect and right, and I was so concerned about what I was saying, and then when I calmed down and took a big step back, I was like, nothing that I say really truly matters or is really going to be perfect or be that impactful. I need to show up and just say, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I'm with you. What do you need? And that was when I had after having that conversation with you, that's when I kind of had that epiphany, stop worrying about what you're saying. It doesn't matter what you're saying. Your words are not going to fix it. They're not going to make you feel better. They're not going to erase all the pain and the history. So let's release that pressure on yourself and just focus on being there to help and support the cause. I think
that's what it is, right? You're not going to be perfect, and not every Black person is going to want to explain his or her pain to you as well.
And we need to know not to take that personally. It's not a personal thing. We just need to keep it moving and keep supporting.
You don't need to take over the space.
Right.
It is very much okay to just be there and in support and in solidarity and be willing to stand for the cause.
And listen. And listen and be educated. That's the other thing that we need to do is shut up. We just need to shut up and let you speak. And then by allowing you that space, we're able to learn and understand and sympathize. And then we can also get direction on how we can best serve the movement. So I think that's a big part for us too.
I think it's hard because, when you see people in the streets protesting and rioting, and like you said, I want to point out what you specifically said. There's a difference between looting and rioting.
Yes.
All right.
Big time.
Now, But when you see people out in the streets protesting,
no, they're protesting and rioting or looting.
Excuse me, and also protesting and rioting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure we're clear.
Okay, I got it. When you see people protesting and rioting, I think you are seeing people in a desperate state. And when we hear desperation, we think of panic. I get the panic. The panic has been building up for centuries, but I want us to understand that something else that has been building up for centuries are our capabilities as a Black community. And I feel like we have powers that we're not tapping into yet. Just not even just the Black community, but think about social networking right now. Someone could go viral doing something that violates our community rules or guidelines, or something could go viral, and then that person's inbox could be flooded. That person could be harassed all the way into seclusion and even lose a job these days. That's social power. We now have the power to shape our community through social power. But what we also have the power to do is purchase. Now, the Black community, once more, spends the most money in the country. And for a while, I couldn't figure that out. But when you think about the way communities spend their money, a lot of communities invest in themselves, right? And they continue to spend their money on their schools, on their taxes, on the shops and on the businesses that are in their town, because they want to make their towns and their communities stronger. So that means money stays within the family and it just circulates. And I've got a cousin who does the plumbing, and I've got a cousin who does, and it just, you keep the money in house and you keep the money generating. And it appears as though Black people spend the most money as the free agents. And if we stop being such free agents as spenders and started being more targeted spenders within our own communities and our own shops and for our own schools and our own children's education and our own businesses and inventions, then we would be able to have some speaking power in terms of representation. But because we are one of the ones who spend so freely, they miss us. And the other thing I want to say before I get off this is we do have the power to build our community, but we have to be less competitive with ourselves and more cooperative with one another and more competitive with the people outside of that community. Because I think what often happens is successful people are discouraged to come back and help other people become successful for a myriad of social reasons, right, and social factors, but also it's not just they don't feel welcome, it's sometimes they just are reluctant to go back. And it's just it's not a part of some of our cultures, right? And I think that's another thing we have the power to do is spread success through education. And I don't want us to panic. However, if we are protesting and rioting, I hope we're also working on what this looks like on the other end. Like, are we going to start building our communities? Are we going to start spending within? Let's design that. Let's strategize. Let's do that right now. So that way, when they take away the hand that feeds us, which is the system right now, when they take away the hand that feeds us, because they will if we continue to press the system and cause disruption, then we will be able to support ourselves a little better, at least a little longer until we can, wait this thing out and get to the negotiation stage. But I might just be a dreamer.
Dreaming's good.
Yeah, it was my dream to have my own podcast, so I am.
And here you are. So, see, dreaming is a good thing. And dreams do come true. So, I support it. I think dreams are important. And I think you have a really good point. I definitely think this movement, it's been happening forever, but it was, obviously, there was a moment, George Floyd set all of this in motion, rightfully so. But I think, we definitely need some organization to...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So organization, yes, so this is also an interesting thing, right? Because I feel like we are dead smack in the middle of what could blow up to be something that resembles a civil rights movement in terms of the atmosphere. Maybe not in terms of impact. Right. I hope, in terms of the impact on change, I would hope. Not in terms of the impact of sacrifice. But in terms of the impact of change, I would hope it would be some sort of resemblance. It would mirror some sort of resemblance. But I think we're missing a component, and that is a main speaker, like a face of the movement. And I think what we really need is we need a council, like W.E.B. Du Bois referred to the talented 10th of the community or of the black community. These are your geniuses, your brilliant people who have studied enough or who have just felt their way through life in a special way, in such a special way that they could lend themselves to something as great as a revolution or a major change. So we need a council of these type of people together, and we need advisors for them that would include a more eclectic group.
Yes.
Of advisors, but the council would have to be one specific group to speak and ask and fight for, representation. However, but there would have to be one face who lets the rest of the movement know what direction we're moving in, because I feel like we're all moving in so many different directions, and instead of facing the same direction, we're looking at one another and criticizing. Right. And I think we need someone to say, hey, let's move in this direction.
Right. The only good thing, I think anyway, is that we don't have to establish the common goal or the mission, because we all know where we're headed. It's just about how do we get there most efficiently, effectively. How are we going to join forces and band together to ensure that this does activate change? Because we've had things like this happen in the past, like you mentioned Trayvon Martin, that did not spark the change. I mean, listen, I told you I was watching a video of James Baldwin, and he said, you told me it takes time. It's been 40 years and nothing has changed. How much time am I supposed to give this, right? So I think we risk that right now. And so we have a lot of people who want to be involved. We need to organize and figure out the best strategy to make this happen. And one of the biggest things, and I have to say it and I have to plug it right now, right here, right now, please vote. Please vote. We have a major election coming up in November, but we have local elections. And trust me, like you said, we need to be destructive or impactful
disruptive.
Excuse me. I knew you didn't say destructive when as soon as it came out of my mouth, I'm like, that is not what he said. Disruptive, and we need to be impactful, and we need to do that on many levels, right? And one of the most important ways, and Obama spoke to this, he said, please do not misunderstand me when I tell you how important it is that you go out and vote. We must.
It is, because and I want to speak to that, because I think people hear it and it has this connotation of like, yeah, we get it, go out and vote, but that voting thing hasn't worked for us. I think people have led the mainstream population astray by telling them go out and vote for president. I feel like it's also been a bit of a distraction, because it honestly makes no mistake to vote, for the president when the Electoral College pretty much takes care of who's going to be president. Now,
you still have to vote, though. You still have to vote, though. I get the Electoral College thing.
I'm not done.
I know, but I'm just saying.
But if you let me finish, I promise you'll understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So now voting for the presidency is a bit of a farce. What people have to do, since the Electoral College is a group of representatives per state that actually each one of their votes counts for president, and they count the Electoral College votes. That's how that works. It's all about the representatives and such. So what people have to do is go out and vote locally. The national election is good for camaraderie. It's good for patriotism. But if you truly want to be a part of the process, you have to vote locally. Not only do you have to vote for your representatives, you have to vote for your mayor, you have to vote for your district attorney, you have to vote for your councilmen. These are the people who control what's going on, not only with your police officers, but your neighborhood ordinances. They can speak to what's going on with trash pickup. Every little thing that goes on in your life that you feel like you don't have any control over, you have to vote locally. Please stop trying to hit a home run and voting for the president and thinking that's going to fix your problems, because the president is so far removed from your problem on your block, on your street, when he is not only governing the entire United States, he is an ambassador when he moves out internationally and is talking to other countries. He does not have time for our little problems, but you know who does? Those people we are voting for in the local election. If you do not know what's going on, do your research and find out, what are the primaries? What's the local election? How do I vote for this? How do I vote for that? You can Google or YouTube almost anything, but stop just spending all of your voting time worrying about the President of the United States. There you go.
Got it. Yes, I totally agree. And these primary elections, they started today in some states. So please, please, please Google it, look it up if you don't know already. Please. I have never been more invested, and I am not one who's huge into politics. I will be honest. I have never been more into politics and more invested in an election in my entire life than right now. I am so committed to this. It's not even funny. I feel so passionately and so strongly about this. I can't even use the words that I want to use politely. So I'm just being real. I'm controlling myself very much right now, but I will, if I have to post it, if I lose every follower I have and I have to post vote every single day, I will do that. If I think it would make a difference, honestly, I'm not even kidding you. I don't care about followers. I don't care about likes. I don't care about any of it. All that matters to me is that this message gets out and that we have come so far in such a short period of time with joining forces and showing up and showing out. We have to continue this energy and this restlessness and this desire in the polls. We have to vote. We have to vote. I can't say it enough. So please.
Well, I agree with you. I think people need to get out and vote, and I think that's another way you disrupt the system.
Exactly.
People don't understand that the votes are often counted before they happen. That doesn't necessarily mean that they go out and vote before we know they do. What that means is they know that certain votes are promised and certain votes will never show up. They don't count on votes from certain communities. They only count on votes from the communities that are active in the voting process and active in the nominating process. So what that then turns out to mean is not only do you miss out on representation, you miss out on the spotlight because no one's coming to your town if there are no voters there. That not only includes the representatives and the politicians, it also includes the police. If you really want to make a change, you cannot just stop at protesting. We have to disrupt every part of this system. Bring your votes to the system and start using their system against them whilst disrupting it.
Right. Also realize that I know everyone doesn't seem to talk about it or be that concerned, but if you do have concerns of COVID-19 and you do not want to go to your local polling station, you can get an absentee ballot. So please go to the website, find it. I think you can print it out or they mail it to you and you can send it in if you are concerned, but they will be having social distancing. You can wear a mask and all of that good stuff too. So just throwing that out there.
Yep. And I think it's imperative at this point because you have to remember that not only did I mention that there were some like people who are heavily contracted with the government in terms of their agriculture. There is an oligarchy in play. And for those of you who don't know what an oligarchy is, it is a group of people that rules an entire country. So what that means for us is we have a group of people who are ruling over our government. And a lot of people are going to say that's conspiracy theory, but if you check back to 1790, the Funding Act, that's when it all actually originated. And then after the Civil War, what happened with the federal government, a lot of people don't know the federal government is actually a bank that lends and borrows, right? So once the federal government took over the United States, like it took over in terms of governing it, and it developed the main control over it, it offered people shares into our government for money because we needed the money after the Revolutionary War, and then we definitely needed even more money after the Civil War broke us down. So we needed money, and there were private investors who invested in our country. And just like any other corporation, when I invest, depending on how much I invest, I get some say-so in what's going on with this company because you want to keep my money flowing, then I want to keep my money coming out. And all I care about, and these are the people we talk about, all I care about is that money coming out. I want that profit. So I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I want that profit. Get your country in order. I want my money. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm an investor in the U.S. corporation. And for those of you who are still wondering if this is conspiracy theory, please go online and Google what it means when the United States is written all in caps. That means it's a corporation. And then ask yourself, how in the world do we have a United States corporation? And then when does the split occur? Or does a split occur? Please quote me if you want to.
Okay, so shockingly enough, we're getting close on time, so we
have a couple things we need to cover.
So, what are they? Enlighten us.
First of all, if you'd like to follow us, we are beyond_the_journal on Instagram. We are also the two creators and we're the two creators of the_ballers_journal, an online basketball magazine that highlights New York City basketball community. And I am LA Boy_Racor. It looks like LaBoy, but it's LA Boy_Racor on Instagram, or pretty much everything except for Facebook, where I'm Lawrence Racor. And you are?
It's Erin _NYC on Instagram.
Okay, so you can keep up with us there. We both seem to be dedicating our social networks to the cause. So if you'd like to find out any information or you want to share any information with us, please join in on the cause. And
I also want to say, if you have questions, or if you are concerned about any things that we talked about, like you want to support but you don't know the right thing to say, or you don't know how to get involved, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are incredibly open-minded, and we are committed to the cause, just like we have been committed to all of the other projects we've worked on. And no judgment. We are here to educate and to help and to listen. And any way that we can help move this forward, we're committed to. So I just want to put it out there that, please do not hesitate to ask questions or to make comments or give us feedback, whatever. We are open to all of it because we just want to do what's best.
Right. And I am, I've been having some very serious and real conversations, and I never take anything personally. I take this work personally, and since my goal is to make sure we get where we're going, and the police recognize that we are the citizens and we are the customer and they are the workers, once we get there, then we can take things personally. But until then, that's all I'm taking personally. We have two quotations. Did you want to read your quotation?
You go first. You go first.
No.
Oh, you want to go? You want to go last?
I have something else I wanted to say as well, too. Okay. Someone on my Facebook. First of all, I want to give a shout out to anybody that's been sharing any of our stuff. We really appreciate that. We're just trying to keep the movement moving forward. But someone asked me online, and where do we go from here? I was on live, and I responded, first we need to unite. That's the first thing we need. The second thing we need to do is cause disruptions. But these disruptions have to happen across the width and length of the entire system. Third, we're going to have to endure, because whatever they're putting down right now is not the last of it. They are not going to give up control of this system without a fight. They will try to rule with an iron fist. We need to endure. The fourth thing we need to do is discuss and study how they react to us and what's important to them. And fifth, we need to either conquer or negotiate, but either way, we will prevail. Those are the 5 steps we need to take. I'll stand by that. And my quotation is, if you are willing to stand for something, you must be willing to get knocked down for it as well.
True. And I think we're proving that right now, right?
Yes,
and
indeed.
The other one that this one just spoke so much to me when I read it that I just wanted to share it. James Baldwin said, I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hates so stubbornly is because they sense once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. And you and I have talked a lot about doing the hard work and really taking time with yourself to self-reflect and work on the things that, you need to work on. And pain is really, really difficult. And I think that was such a powerful statement. So shout out to James Baldwin.
Indeed, as always.
Brilliant man. So, wow.
That's it.
I mean, wow, it was a lot. But thank you for your time. Thank you for this conversation. It's important to me that we continue to have these conversations. And even if it's one person that we're able to convince to come along on this journey with us, that matters to me. So
yes, and everybody, please stay safe.
Please
stay healthy, and try to keep your eye on the prize. We love you. From us to you, everyone stay safe. And believe it or not, I've got some police officer family and friends. To all of you police officers who have the right thing in mind, I hope you stay safe.
Yes.
All right?
That's right.
Power to the people, baby. Beyond the journal, baby.
Oh. Ugh.
That's it.
That's it. All right, we're good.